We delve into the harrowing assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. First, let's recap what happened. On July 13th, at a rally in Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump narrowly escaped an assassination attempt. The assailant, identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, opened fire from a rooftop near the rally site. Trump, along with two others, were injured, while a heroic former fire chief, Corey Comparatori, tragically lost his life protecting his family. Shortly after being shot, Trump stood up and told supporters at the rally, mouthed at them to fight.
Take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move. Up. Move.
Go. Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Shooters down. Shooters down.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head, it's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay. My shoes down. Get the shield.
Watch out.
Wait.
Dex, don't look so amazed. It was Dex, just don't.
It was
Dr.
a very fascinating experience, I'll tell you that.
Very fascinating. That's a word. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, Trump's doctor, provided updates on the former president's condition. Despite the severity of the attack, Trump's injuries are reportedly limited to his ear. Dr. Jackson revealed that a bullet tore off part of Trump's ear, but no surgery will be needed as the wound is expected to heal naturally. The tweet above shows how close Trump was to being shot in the head. Had he not turned his head to look at a chart on the podium about the Border Patrol, he joked that the Border Patrol saved his life. Had he not looked at that pole or that chart, the bullet would have hit him right in the side of his head. Now, there has been no other information about the injury, where Trump was treated, or if it will require any sort of plastic surgery. And there also haven't been any medical records given out. But as of now, we can see that, Trump is actually moving about quite well. He appeared at the Republican National Convention shortly after being shot, bandaged but resilient, showing his determination to continue the campaign.
The next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. Because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
You know what that sounded like? It sounded like an AI doing Donald Trump's voice, singing "Proud to be an American." That's what it sounded like. My daughter, side note, my daughter loves that song.
A true American patriot.
Loves that song. Like, absolutely. It annoys the living hell out of me. But that's like top 5 songs in her repertoire right now. She loves that song. Welcome, Ty. Welcome, Bill. I'm glad you guys made it in safe. In the wake of the shooting, the Secret Service has come under fire, though, especially because, of course, they're women. So
That's why.
yeah, sorry, Dex. I just noticed something about you. In the wake of the shooting, like I said, the Secret Service has come under fire. The director, Kimberly Cheadle, has taken full responsibility, calling the incident unacceptable and vowing comprehensive reviews and improvements to security protocols. Congressional investigations are underway, and Cheadle is set to testify as early as next week, answering tough questions about how the gunman may have breached security. Amidst the chaos, President Joe Biden has reached out to Trump in a phone call, which was strangely enough leaked by RFK Jr.'s son, unbeknownst to RFK Jr., who was very upset that it leaked. You can hear Trump telling RFK that Biden expressed concern, and he also inquired with Trump about why he turned his head at the last second. Trump, of course, was originally calling RFK for a reason, and that was to get his endorsement. You can hear the call right there.
I would love you to do so. And I think it would be so good for you and so big for you. Put it on. We're way ahead of the guy. And, he's interesting. It was very nice, actually. He called me and he said, you choose to move to the right. So I guess that's, people say, if I was looking straight on, right? He said, I said, I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country, but I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito, and it was a bullet going around. What do they call that, an AR-15 or something? That was a big gun. Those are pretty tough guns, right?
Fascinating. Pretty tough guns, right?
Pretending to not know what you're the Republican nominee. You don't know what that was? Okay.
AR-15 or something, a big gun, pretty tough gun. Am I right? Like, what are we talking about, sir? Like, why did you call me to talk about how tough you are taking this AR-15 to the air? Like, what is happening? And you're gonna call me for your endorsement like the next day, sir? Like, relax.
Like
Let the morphine drip.
He said, look, I'm way ahead of this guy in the polls. I'm way ahead of this guy. So that means as for you, you already know. You don't stand a chance. So go ahead and give me this endorsement.
The President Joe Biden, for his part, delivered very strong words to the nation shortly after the assassination attempt.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're our fellow Americans. We must stand together. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America.
The Biden campaign also suspended a bunch of ads over the weekend during Copa America, the famous soccer tournament, that were focusing on Trump's felony convictions. They did so in order to bring down the temperature, they said. But some Democratic citizens think that that's taking things a bit too far and giving Trump too much grace. So, guys, I ask you, in light of the assassination attempt, should there be a temporary truce in political hostilities? And do you see both sides being able to honor such a truce? What do you guys think?
Has anyone been hostile except them?
It's an interesting question. Well, what they did raise to President Biden, Lester Holt did on NBC, I think it was either last night or Sunday night. He brought up the fact that Dex your ear. He brought up the fact that he brought up the fact that Biden said that there should be a bullseye on Trump. And that language might have been incendiary to some critics. Now, again, the person who shot and tried to kill Trump was a registered Republican, a MAGA fan, and he was seen having Trump signs in his yard weeks before. So, this might not apply to the typical rhetoric we might think with a Democratic fan shooting a Republican candidate. This is kind of Republican on Republican crime.
That statement clearly meant that we need to finish Trump off politically. Like, obviously,
that's what he, of course, yes, of course.
Obviously, he didn't mean let's go out and shoot him. And nobody, well, apparently this guy was, but nobody else was stupid enough to think that Biden meant to go off and kill Trump.
And he clarified that I didn't say crosshairs, I said bullseye. And that's what Biden said in a Lester Holt interview, which was fascinating.
If I'm Joseph Robinette Biden, I'm getting out there. See, the thing is that what this little incident pulled for Donald Trump was the same thing Vladimir Putin did to get in power from Medvedev, right? Like Vladimir Putin was out here pulling stunts and flipping and martial arts classes and getting shot at. And people are like, whoa, he's so strong. We need us a strong president. We vote for him, right?
Okay.
If I'm Robinette, in this moment, I am turning, and this is going to sound crazy, right? But I'm turning into a fascist. Hey, because we're already at that point in American politics where we never lived in a democracy, right? This is a democratic republic, right? There are oligarchs that are swimming in our economy. We're already here, right? Donald Trump put his children in office. That's an oligarchy move. Like that is the move of an oligarch.
It doesn't mean we can't fight it and that there's not any change.
We're going to fight it, and I'm calling the rest of the Dems to take to the streets, and we're going to finish this thing off good old-fashioned Civil War style.
Oh, stop it.
I'm joking.
Next, do you think the Republicans can agree to such a truce, especially as we go on right now? We'll have more on this a little bit later, but the RNC is ongoing. Do you think a truce is fair to ask for both sides?
Like, realistically speaking, so like if the Republicans are asking for a truce, like what that means, they're just not asking Joe Biden to step down based on his age. Like what does that mean? A truce on their end? Like, this is stupid on the side of the Democrats. You're suspending your campaign because this happened to him. Like, that's dumb. Like, you can express
maybe it's not permanent, but I think maybe it was just for the weekend.
Have for a second. Like, you shouldn't have done that for a second. At the end of the day, this is tragic what happened to this man. But like, I still need to beat him. I still want to beat him. His rhetoric, his policies that we don't know much about, but nothing about him has changed. The only thing that's different is that somebody took a shot at him. That's it. Sorry that happened, but at the end of the day, like, he still cannot be president.
If I'm Joe Biden for real, I'm getting out in there and I'm calling him. I'm at his behavior. Like, he's into the behavior. That's thug behavior. He's a convicted felon, and now he's into shootouts. That's the kind of president you all want.
Well, we wish.
And also, I'm Joe Biden in this situation. I'm expressing that I'm sorry that this happened to you, but I would like to see that ear.
You know what I felt like? Honestly, I felt like one of the kids in the class after one person does something wrong, and that one person is a known dickhead. You know, like, we all get the talk about it afterwards. Like, we didn't do this. Why are you talking to us? Like, it wasn't us. It wasn't the people who are against Trump who did this. So why are you talking to me about it? Don't talk to me about this. That's how
and I agree with that, but it's less about even the talking to, like, you know how, like, if your kids and something breaks in the house and everybody gets in trouble for it, like, that's what's happening here. But the Democrats are accepting the trouble. It's like, oh, I'm sorry that I did that. And it's like,
right. It didn't do anything.
And it didn't do a thing. It looks as if, like, you're not trying to win this election. I've been saying that for a very long time as far as Joe Biden goes and as far as Democrats go. Yeah. And, like, this is a really good point of showing, like, y'all are not trying to win this election because
Democrats definitely don't feel like they're trying to win the election.
No.
Running Joe Biden was a bad move on their part. I think they agree now, which is bad that they're saying it. But then, like, the way that they responded to this, it's like, oh, we're sorry that happened, but like, oh, we have to really turn down the rhetoric. What did we do?
Right.
When has anyone said, like, Trump is the one saying, oh, I could shoot someone in the middle of the street, or there's going to be a bloodbath, all this other crazy stuff. Like, no one else is saying those things. And his people did what they do.
And also, we have yet to see a bullet, and we've yet to see. And then some. There was a report that said he wasn't actually shot; it was glass. I haven't seen any broken glass on the stage, and I have not seen any bullets. And honestly, I don't even think it matters as far as conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I think the most important thing that we should be focused on right now is why a person who would seemingly be aligned with you would want to shoot at you, and nobody's asking that question.
Also, right, we need to be serious about the power of a rifle, right? Like if an AR-15 goes off by your ear, you no longer have an ear. Okay.
Right.
And like nobody behind you got hit. Like it just okay.
And I'm gonna make this point, right? I'm gonna make 2 points. 3 points. 1, why did nobody in the crowd run? Number 2, why didn't Secret Service move like Secret Service typically does if they know that there's a gunshot going? Y'all seen Secret Service go off when a real gun goes off?
They're now trying to blame Secret. They're saying like people are now saying
taking responsibility.
They're saying like this was an inside job, so Secret Service like knew about it, and it's like I think it was an inside job, but I don't think it was through Secret Service. But I will say at one point, Will, Secret Service lifted Donald Trump up, and it's just like. Somebody's trying to shoot at this man. I think you should probably keep him down.
Well, they were trying to get him up, but as soon as they stood him up, he's talking about get my shoe.
But like maybe don't sit him up at all. Like if there's an active shooter, maybe don't stand the man up.
Well, they did say shoot her down. That's why they stood him up. They did announce shoot her down.
My third and final point, but again, you don't even know how many shooters there are. You're assuming that there's one. The Secret Service protocol is to get him out of there. He's a former president. Get him completely out of there and let somebody else secure the area and lock it down. You have a job that's his safety. My third and final point is that there was once a president who was shot with a rifle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
John F. Kennedy.
Okay, so you trying to say the injuries aren't consistent with?
Absolutely not consistent.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll say just stringing along what Will says, and I don't think anybody can disagree with this. Whether you like Trump or you dislike Trump, I do think the timing is very convenient. Like you get shot at,
excellent timing,
and then the RNC happens literally the next week, like days after. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
and also with the picture that we've seen circulated, I don't see any of his ear missing.
Yeah, I don't see any ear missing, and I don't see where the impact is, how it would have avoided his brain. But that's not necessarily, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physicist. I'm not sure about how angles work with guns and bullets. Just where the impact looks like it is, it doesn't look like it could have avoided hitting the rest of his head.
This is just one of those things where you look like a bad person if you question the details that they're giving. So you literally have to just like sit back and take the details that they're giving you, even though they're not necessarily all adding up.
Also, all of that hair is in place.
There's no blood on the hair.
No blood on the head. Like, come on.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. But okay. Moving on. I'm not going to go there because
it's interesting.
You can't. But it's very fascinating. It's an interesting.
Was it a rubber bullet?
As you see him wearing the head dressing as Dex also has. Dex, let me see where
head dressing.
You just got yours on the tip.
Well, that's what it happened at.
Jason, where's that?
On the tip.
Could you imagine, like when I did this, I was like, I have to really stuff my ear in this, which means him as a person whose ear was just shot, they had to force his ear into a bandage. That doesn't make sense to me either.
The Dr. Ronnie Jackson said he did it personally. There were people tweeting online that work in the ER said I've never seen an ear bandage affixed to someone's face like this. But here we are.
Hilarious.
Another anomaly.
Don't they keep gunshot victims overnight at least for an observation? You were shot in the ear, which is next to your brain, which is the gateway to your heart, and you're at the convention that night. Like they
the next day. It was a couple of days.
Also, like, is there no consideration for his psychological well-being?
Yes. 78 years old, damn near shot.
Shot in the head.
Almost assassinated, as they say. And you throw this man right out on the stage. We talk about elderly abuse with Joe Biden. This is elderly abuse.
Isn't it? Like, I'm like, there's no yeah, he's a real tough guy. He's walking down the steps and
He doesn't have to be. He's 78 years
like
old.
you almost got shot, and like according to you,
He
and
did get
everyone
shot. He didn't almost. He did get shot.
you got shot in the head. Or ear, and the next day you're prancing around making phone calls for endorsements, shaking
Saying
hands
it's a pretty tough gun, huh? Like what?
with babies, and being like you're this huge American hero, and there's no consideration for his mental well-being. Like most people, if you almost got shot in the head, would have some sort of maybe I didn't take a couple of days off. Response.
Like Joe Biden did after Donald Trump got shot. Joe Biden took a couple of days off. You would think that Trump would do that too.
It's interesting. It's fascinating.